ask you this then. Had Mr. Vole ever mentioned a wife?
Never.
Thank you.
Now, I think we all appreciate how very devoted to your mistress you were.
Aye, that I was.
And you had great influence over her.
Aye, maybe.
And in the last will that Miss French made, that's to say the one she made last spring, she left almost the whole of her fortune to you. Were you aware of that?
Aye, she told me so. All Crooksy's charities, she'd said. Expenses here and expenses there, and the money never going to the object that you give it for. I'm leaving it all to you, Janet, so that you can do what you think is good and right with it.
An expression of great trust on her part. But as I understand it, her present will, she merely left you an annuity. The principal beneficiary is the prisoner, Leonard Vole.
Aye, and a wicked injustice it'll be if ever he touches a penny of that money.
Now, Miss French, you say, had not many friends and acquaintances. Why was that?
Oh, she didn't go out much.
Now, when Miss French struck up this friendship with Mr. Vole, it made you very sore and angry, did it not?
Well, I did not like to see my dear lady imposed upon.
But you just admitted he did not impose upon her. Perhaps what you mean to say is you did not like to see anyone else supplanting you as an influence on Miss French.
Well, she leaned on him a good deal. Far more than was safe, I thought.
Far more than you personally liked.
Aye, I said so. But it was of her good I was thinking.
So the prisoner had a great influence over Miss French, and Miss French had a great affection for him.
Aye, that's what it had come to.
So that if the prisoner had ever asked her for money, she most certainly would have given him some.
I've not said that.
But he did not receive any money from Miss French.
Well, that may not have been for want of trying.
Now, let's go to the night of October the 14th. You say you heard the prisoner and Miss French talking together. What did you hear them say?
Well, I did not hear exactly what they were saying.
Oh, you mean you only heard the voices, the murmur of voices?
Well, they were laughing.
So you heard a man's voice and a woman's voice, and they were laughing. Is that right?
Aye.
I suggest that is exactly what you did hear. A man's voice and a woman's voice laughing. You didn't hear what they said. How could you possibly know that the man's voice was Leonard Vole's?
I know his voice well enough.
The door was closed, was it not?
Aye, it was closed.
So you heard a murmur of voices through a closed door. And you definitely say that one of the voices was that of Leonard Vole. I suggest that is mere prejudice on your part.
It was Leonard Vole.
Now, as I understand it, you passed by that door on 2 occasions. Once going to your room and once going out.
That is so.
And you were in a hurry, I suggest, to get your pattern and return to your friend.
I was in no particular hurry. I had the whole of the evening.
I'm just suggesting that on both occasions you walked quickly past that door.
I was there long enough to know what I heard.
Come, Miss Mackenzie, I'm sure you don't wish to suggest to this jury that you were eavesdropping.
I was doing no such thing. I've better things to do with me time.
Exactly. Now, you are registered, of course, with the National Health Insurance.
Aye, 4 and 6pence I have to pay out every week. It's a terrible lot of money for a poor working woman to have to pay.
Yes, many people feel that. And as I understand it, Miss Mackenzie, you recently applied for a national hearing apparatus, is that right?
Aye, 6 months ago I applied for it, and not got it yet.
So your hearing isn't very good, is that right? So when I say to you that you could not possibly recognize the voice through a closed door, what would you answer? Can you tell me what I just said?
I cannot hear anyone when they mumble.
The fact is, you did not hear what I just said. No, although I'm only a few feet from you in an open courtroom. And yet you say, from behind the closed door, with 2 people talking in an ordinary conversational tone, that you definitely recognize the voice of Leonard Vole as you rushed past that door on 2 occasions.
It was him, I tell you, it was him.
What you mean is you wanted to be him. You have a preconceived notion.
Well, who else could it have been?
Exactly. Who else could it have been? That's the way your mind worked. Now, Miss Mackenzie, Was Miss French sometimes lonely all by herself in the evenings?
No, she was not lonely. She had her books from the library.
And she listened to the wireless, perhaps?
Aye, she listened to the wireless.
And she was fond of the talk on it, or perhaps of a play?
She liked a good play.
Wasn't it possible that on that evening, when you returned to the house and passed by that door, that what you actually heard was the wireless switched on, and a man's voice and a woman's voice and laughter? There was a play called Lovers Meet on the wireless that night.
It was not the wireless.
Oh, and why not?
Because the wireless was out being repaired that week.
So, it must have upset you very much, Miss Mackenzie, if you really thought that Miss French intended to marry the prisoner.
Naturally, it would upset me. It was a daft thing to do.
And for one thing, if she had married the prisoner, it is possible, is it not, that he might have persuaded her to dismiss you.
She'd never have done that. Not after all these years.
Oh, but you never know what anyone will do you? Not when one is strongly influenced by anyone.
Aye, he'd have used his influence. Oh, yes. He'd have done his best to get her to get rid of me.
I see. So you felt the prisoner was a very real menace to your present way of life at that time?
He'd have changed everything.
Very upsetting. No wonder you feel so bitterly against the prisoner.
My learned friend has been at great pains to extract from you an admission of vindictiveness toward the prisoner.
A painless extraction. Quite painless.
Did you really believe that your mistress would have married the prisoner?
Indeed I did. I've just said so.
Indeed you did. Indeed you did. And have the prisoner had such influence over Miss French that he could have, say, persuaded her to dismiss you?
I'd like to have seen him try. He'd not have succeeded.
He'd not have succeeded. But did he have any, did he ever show any sign of dislike of you?
No, he had his manners.
Yes, he had his manners. Just one last question, Miss Mackenzie. The wireless was away that week being repaired, and you can say for certain that the voice in that room behind that closed door was the prisoner Leonard Bowler. Can you tell the jury how you knew it was his?
Well, you know the sound of a person's voice when you hear it, even if you cannot hear exactly what they're saying.
Thank you, Miss Mackenzie.
You may step down, Miss Mackenzie.
Good morning.